Hey guys, we are talking about elementary for this weekend. We are continuing with our Unseen series, and this week we are talking about our awareness of Satan and that Satan's real, and what they need to be thinking about when they're thinking about how next week we'll be talking about how we protect ourselves with the armor of God, but this week we're just talking about being more aware of Satan and that he's real. And so you have no social game, but if you do that first 5 minutes, I don't know if all of you guys do it, but if you do that first 5 minutes with your small group, just talk about what's going on in their week and maybe connect with them, maybe ask them what you can be praying for them, and then we're going to tell you what our 2 activities are for your actual small group time. Do you want me to go first?
Go for it.
Okay. So, since we're talking about awareness of Satan, we're talking about God's voice versus Satan's voice, and I don't have the actual example for you yet, but this is an example we found that someone else did. So it's like a T-chart basically, and one side says God's voice and one side says Satan's voice. And so we're gonna have 2 separate 11 by 17 papers for your group. One's gonna say God's voice, the other paper is gonna say Satan's voice, and then there's gonna be different places where they're gonna put a characteristic of God's voice versus a characteristic of Satan's voice. So you're going to have these cards, and if you have the space, you can put them around your room, kind of make it a scavenger hunt. If you don't, I know here at Plymouth you guys probably don't have space to be able to do that around the room. You can just lay them out on your floor, maybe upside down, and have the kids draw one and talk together, decide if it should go on Satan's voice, 11 by 17, or if it should go on the God's voice paper. And then you'll be able to see too that they can match up. For example, the first one says God's voice stills you while Satan's voice rushes you, so they can see the contrast in those two. So they're not just matching God's voice and Satan's voice, but then they're looking at the ones that are opposite of each other or contrast each other. So it's a cool voice. Oh, and they'll have this on their take home too, so that they can talk about it with their parents at home. Yeah.
All right, and then we're also going to do this little activity sheet. It looks like that. It's called No, 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 and so it kind of talks about when Satan tempts Jesus and what his response was. So the kids are going to color in all of the shapes that say no, and it'll reveal a verse once you're all done filling it in. And so I wrote the verse at the bottom. They can do that too, and then you guys can go over it a couple times with them. But it's just kind of a fun activity to do, and know that Satan tempted Jesus too.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we will see you this weekend. Bye.